Donald Trump held his final unhinged, extreme, lunatic rally in front of a crowd of sycophants last night in Vandalia, Ohio. And there were rumors that he was going to announce his 2024 candidacy. Trump did make an announcement of a further announcement, and a lot of people highly titillated by this. Take a look at Trump's big announcement.
I'm going to be making a very big announcement on Tuesday, November 15th at Mar-a-Lago in Palm Beach, Florida.
Okay, so by all reasonable assessments, next Tuesday, Trump will be announcing that he is running for the Republican presidential nomination in 2024. This was a particularly disgusting rally. The energy was extra dangerous. One of the targets of Trump in the last few days has been Nancy Pelosi. And it is quite horrifying. We will get to that momentarily. Donald Trump insisting, maybe he should be given back the nuclear codes.
In his socks. Nothing happened to him except a great verdict. He's got a great verdict. We go by that verdict. The socks verdict. But no, he had it in his socks. You know that, right? And others took many, many documents. They take them out of the White House. They took documents. I'm the only one that can't take anything. But maybe our country would be better off if I actually had the nuclear codes, JD, because our enemies would be afraid, unlike the way they are now. If I had the...
Think about what he's saying. He's saying, I am so unstable that I actually might just on a whim nuke people, that me having the codes would be a good deterrent.
Nuclear codes. Bill Clinton, don't forget, he lost the nuclear codes twice. How do you explain that to the military? I've lost the military codes. He lost the military codes twice. I didn't. They're coming after me because I'm fighting for you.
Completely unhinged. I mean, this is a man at this point so disconnected from reality and sanity that it is hard to believe. Trump then going after Nancy Pelosi. Of course, Nancy Pelosi's husband recently attacked by a right-wing nut in their home. He had to have skull surgery. And here's Trump talking about her.
Nancy Pelosi said, please don't call them animals. They're human beings. I said, no, they're animals. Of course, I think she's an animal, too. You want to know the truth?
What?
They'll say, oh, what a horrible thing he said about Nancy. She impeached me twice for nothing. Nothing. They'll say, oh, these people, the fakers back there. They'll say, what a horrible thing. He called Nancy Pelosi an animal. Let me tell you, what she does to this country, or what she did to and the turmoil, and it was all, I used the word yesterday, I shouldn't, my great first lady got very upset. I said, I will never use the word bullshit again. But what she did to us in this country, and yet we got more done as an administration and a president than just about any president in the history of our country in 4 years.
So continued attacks on Nancy Pelosi, extremely poor taste, classless, as I've said before. Money cannot buy you class. Now, interestingly, former Ted Cruz staffer Amanda Carpenter tweeted last night, quote, I haven't seen a Trump speech in a while, but the way he spoke last night so favorably of executing drug dealers after a short 2-hour or less trial and then sending the bullet they were shot with to their families was jarring. Well, what Amanda Carpenter doesn't know is that this has actually been part of Trump's routine at every rally for the last several months. And Kevin McCarthy was even asked about this on CNN. He's like, no. We kind of should be changing the law to execute drug dealers. This is a sick and disgusting group of people. Here's the clip that Amanda Carpenter is referring to. And again, if you haven't been paying attention to these rallies, you probably would be horrified by this. But Trump does this at every rally, and the crowd cheers. The world is horrified, but the crowd cheers.
I'm calling for the death penalty for drug dealers and human traffickers, which will, upon its passage, reduce drug distribution and reduce crime in our country by a minimum of 75% on the first day that this policy is instituted. And maybe I could ask JD to lead it. You will never lose an election again if you did. And I don't like to bring this up. It's a tough subject. I don't know if the country is ready for it. I can tell you with President Xi in China, I see him. You say, President, you have 1.5 billion people. Do you have a drug problem? No.
Listen
no
to this.
drug problem.
Listen to
I
this.
say, how do you do that? I really sort of knew, but I didn't want to. How do you do that? And then he probably thought I was somewhat naive. He goes, we have quick trial. I said, what's a quick trial? I think I knew what that was too. That means they catch a drug dealer, they give them a quick trial, not a trial that takes 12 years and 12 years of appeals, 25 years later and everyone's dead by the time they get to the end of the... No, this is a trial that takes approximately 2 hours.
This is extraordinarily authoritarian. This is, you know, Russia has a 99% conviction rate, red flag, authoritarian nightmare.
And if they're guilty, they are executed. And the bullet, and you know the bullet, I don't know if anybody wants to know this, it gets a little bit too graphic, but the bullet is sent to their families. You know that, right? You know that? It's actually sent to their families. It's pretty tough stuff. There's no games. So they have no drug problem whatsoever. He actually thought it was a foolish question. I said, do you have a drug problem? Absolutely not. What are you talking about? Of course.
Now, let's insert a little bit of sanity into what is a completely insane situation. During this rant, Trump always claims every drug dealer kills 500 Americans. Each drug dealer is responsible directly for killing 500 Americans. That's just made up. I mean, just Google it, look for the information, check out anything you want to check it. There is no evidence. He's grappled onto that fact that is not a fact, that claim, and it is based in nothing. That's number one. Now, number two, even for Trump's all of Trump's tough talk about execute drug dealers, do a 2-hour trial, send the bullet to their families, even despite all of that, Trump pardoned many drug dealers when he was in office. So even his own supposed disdain and desperation for harsher treatment of drug dealers, Trump pardoned many drug dealers when he was in office. So just another instance of hypocrisy for sure. Last thing here, and we're not doing a ton of these clips today. We've got a lot of things. Trump has started to refer to Trump rallies as religious experiences, and in fact referred to the moment when it started pouring at his Miami rally on Sunday as such a religious experience.
But you know, the people, it was actually, people have said today, it was like a religious experience. The people, the music comes on, and then boom, it was like unbelievable. I've never seen anything like it.
Right.
You know, the teleprompters, one of them just crashed and broke.
Now remember, for years, he criticized Barack Obama for using a teleprompter. And now Trump is talking about, forget about the fact that he uses a teleprompter at every speech. He's talking about the fact that without it, it was really difficult to continue giving a speech.
The other one was useless because you ever ride in your car where you get a really heavy rainstorm and try and see through without the windshield wipers, which, by the way, it's called planned obsolescence. They can make a windshield wiper that would last 100 years. But they make them only so they last exactly 1 year, and then you have to buy a new one, which means they're smart, okay?
Trump probably doesn't realize you just take a paper towel to the windshield wiper, and then you get another year out of it every time you do it. But anyway, that's too pedestrian for Trump.
Let's let him keep doing. But you ever do that where you're driving and you can't see? Well, that's what I had with my one little remaining teleprompter. So we had to go, and we had a great evening. One of the greatest rallies we've ever had, and it was caused by God sending us the heaviest rain I've ever seen.
You know, what's funny about that, and then we'll move on, some of you might remember when Trump was inaugurated in January of 2017, he claimed that the rain stopped and the sun came out, and it was a sign from God about how happy God was about Trump being president. Now, it was a lie. It was just rainy that day. But most importantly, the point was God expresses his pleasure by making it sunny. And now Trump is saying God expressed his pleasure by sending rain to make it like a religious experience. That is emblematic of right-wing thinking. When A happens, it's because things are really good. But when the opposite of A happens, it's because things are really good. The meaning of A and the opposite of A is the same, depending on what's convenient at the time. This guy is almost certainly announcing next Tuesday that he's running for president. It is going to be an insane 2 years. It will be worse if these people clean house tonight. Let's hope we've all voted. Let's hope we prevent them from doing it. I want to tell you about something I use every day because it simplifies my life. I don't have hours to mathematically plan every meal or take multiple different supplements and vitamins to make sure I'm getting exactly what I want to get every single day. And the solution is our sponsor, Athletic Greens product AG1. I've been taking AG1 for over a year. It's just great. It's just one small scoop of AG1 in the morning. I get 75 vitamins, minerals, probiotic, all from whole food sources. It's what I want. It's no more. It's no less. It's no extraneous stuff making wild claims. I drink it straight with water because I like the taste. You can put it in a smoothie or juice or a shake. It's just simple. AG1 is a sustainable routine because it's just one scoop in the morning, takes 1 minute once a day. I know I'm covered and getting what I want. I can really be sure that I am properly nourishing my body with the things I'm trying to get. That's the most important part. Athletic Greens knows I'm a vitamin D guy. I've talked about in the winter, I take vitamin D to make up for the lack of sun exposure. I take that every day as well. I've mentioned it on the show. And so Athletic Greens is giving you a free year of vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase when you go to athleticgreens.com/Pacman. The link is down below.